So Andy, team names a short while ago. Obviously you've had injury and forced changes, but you've made a couple of selection decisions as well in terms of just, you know, bringing in the likes of Craig Casey and 𝗣𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦 back in. How happy are you that you're going to have the continuity with so many changes from the last game?
Oh, well, we've been together for a good few weeks now, so people are certainly up to speed. People wouldn't have been selected if they wasn't in the right place. So we're not just turning things around for the sake of it. We're turning things around because we think it's a strong side for us going forward for this game and for the future as well.
And if you go back as far as November, when there were a good few changes leading into the Fiji game, I know a lot of those were injuries, but it was probably a more scrappy performance. Are you confident now that you're going to be able to iron out the transition of making those changes?
I don't think there's that many changes to be fair. I mean, you look at the bench. It's people who's come on and earned the right to get a starting spot because of the performances that they've had, you know. And again, the lads that have come in for the first time in this competition, they've been with us for 4 weeks. So the reality is that this is our third game of the competition, and we expect it to be our best performance of the competition. That's how it should be, and that's what we're aiming for.
And for Ross Byrne, his first Six Nations start on Saturday, how pleased are you with what you've seen from him over the course of
Well, he's been great, and he's earned the right to start. He's earned the right to run the team and transfer everything that we've seen within training to a performance that's got authority and takes his team with him.
At the same time, then himself and Craig Casey as a partnership, they've looked quite good together in the bits we've seen of them off the bench so far in the championship.
Exactly, so they've earned the right to start, and from what we've seen so far, it's only a few days to the game, I know, but for what we've seen so far, it's been a good start to the week. Preparation's been great, and they seem ready for it.
How beneficial, Andy, would have been for Craig and Ross to run the team all week? Like, if this isn't like, you know, they're coming in late in the day, you know, they've had the responsibility.
Yeah, it is, but in reality, you know, we train 15 on 15 the whole time. They're doing the same thing for the last 4 weeks, so there's a reason why they've trained so well this week. Is because of that, probably.
And Joey's obviously back in the wider squad.
Yep.
How has he kind of reacted, and what's he been like on the team this week?
He's been great. He's a tremendous professional anyway. It's exactly what you would expect of Joey, to come in, get across his stuff straight away, making sure that he's across his own job, and then he fitting into the team stuff first. So he's with us travelling to Italy as well.
Is that a message as well to say, like, you know, that he wasn't in the initial squad, but he's back in? Like, it's a fluid situation, like, you know.
Well, we think he's a great player, you know. Ross and Jack, we wanted to have a look at and keep developing, and Ross had earned the right, and there's a bit of feedback to Joey, and him coming back into camp, you know, we get to have the chat again about his reflection on the feedback, etc., and where is he now with all that. So it's great to back that up, isn't it, with the conversations and bring him back into the environment, and lets everyone know that the competition keeps on rolling on.
And you talked about people earning the right to play, going well off the bench. With 𝗣𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦 and Jack coming in this week, what have you seen specifically from them that's impressed you?
Oh, just the fight and the want has been pretty impressive. But I mean, they've added with the performances when they've come off the bench, obviously, but they've been hungry to get a chance to start in this competition, and they've earned that right, in my opinion. Through, I mean, Jack's carrying has been very strong, you know. 𝗣𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦 coming on against Wales and 2 or 3 poaches there in big moments, you know. He brings a lot of energy, and they earn the right to start and show what they've got this week, and you know, they're part of the reason why we expect a good performance.
There's some players in the squad, that were part of the team or part of the squad that lost Italy back in 2013. I'm just interested, have they spoken to the team at large, or have you noticed them talking to players?
No.
Their feet ground, anything like that?
No. It's completely different to then, you know, completely different. So the respect that we've got for Italy is exactly where it should be, very high. The development of what they've shown over the last 12 months has been super impressive. So we're in for a tough game. And there's a realisation of that when we look at them and analyse them. There's a reason why they're doing well. So this is a proper test match for us.
Andy, what do you expect from Italy? What are those reasons for you?
I mean, they look a lot fitter, a lot more cohesive, etc. And there's a reason for that. You know, there's a lot of accountability in how they play, especially in the set piece, and especially in their attack. You know, in how they go about playing. So they're energised. There's a belief in how they play the game, and we've no doubt that they'll be expecting to be at the best against us, and they'll be expecting to win. You know, as we would as well.
What about Cookwood? So have you a special plan for him?
Well, you've got to look after a lot of things, you know, before you just talk about an individual, you know. So obviously he can make something out of nothing. There's an awareness of that. You know, defending him on your own would be pretty tough. But at the same time, you know, this is a team game, so making sure that we look after the tackle contest and the speed of ball, etc., all adds into that.
How do you enjoy the trip to Rome? Is that a question? I mean, you know, it's a real Six Nations occasion, isn't it, going to Rome? How do you get excited about heading over with the team?
I said a couple of weeks ago in regards to the French game, I wish I was going to watch it. This is a nice trip for the fans. Rome is it's a great place to play. It's a great place to go. I was talking to some people this morning who are heading out there, and yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy there as well, you know, because it's a fantastic weekend for the fans, but for us, it's just nothing but business, you know. We'll get to go to Rome someday without the type of pressures that we're going to face this weekend.
And Italy being at home, from what you've seen of them in the Six Nations so far, do you expect that to be a much tougher test?
Well, we've seen it, haven't we? So the proof's in the pudding, really. We saw how they played against France. You know, we know how difficult it is to go and win in Cardiff, and they managed that. It doesn't really matter what Australian side is put out to them. You know, Australia came over with a squad that was full of fantastic players, and they ripped Australia apart, you know, so there's a realisation what we're up against this weekend, and it's going to be a tough one.
And how do you manage the message to the team? You're obviously world number one. Everybody's expecting Ireland to go and win comfortably, I suppose, this weekend. Complacency never kind of can creep in. What's your message to the team in that regard?
Well, there's obviously things that we need to get better at, and when I say to you that this is our third game and our performance should be better than the second one, so there's a fight and a want to get to that point. So again, we've full respect for Italy, but having said that, it is about us. It's about us and our performance, and making sure that we improve in a few areas that we want to, and get something out of this game that we're chasing, you know, because we obviously want to do well in this competition, but Italy obviously chasing that win at home, and it's a big scalp, isn't it, you know, so we know the emotion that they've always had, but the skill that they've put in with that now makes them a serious threat to us, so we're aware of that, and our preparation says so.
Andy, just James Ryan as captain, how do you feel he's grown as a leader over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I've seen him grown massively as a leader because of the leaders that he's got around him. I've seen all of them grow in a huge way over the last couple of years, and James just happens to be one of those leaders who will put his hand up week in, week out, and lead from the front in how he performs on the field, and he's got massive respect in that regard. But his leadership off the field has been pretty impressive as well. I think we're very lucky. You know, it's well documented as far as our leadership group and the growth of them. I feel we're in a great place that, you know, we would be more than happy for a handful of players to captain the side, and James is the lucky one this weekend that is able to do that. But You know, Gary Ringrose, he's an exceptional leader. I'm sure that he'll be captain of Ireland one day. Peter Marnie, Ian Henderson, and more of those type of players. I mean, you look at the development of somebody like Caelan Doris or Hugo Keenan or Gary or whatever. There's a reason why they're playing so well. It's because of how they don't just lead themselves off the field; they lead others as well. And there's probably a rhythm to those type of players that we're talking about. They tend to work unbelievably hard off the field and try and give as much as they possibly can to the teammates. So, in that regard, I feel we're pretty lucky.
Just on Gary, 50 caps this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's a special moment. I mean, it's special for us all to be involved. You know, with 3 lads a few weeks ago, and it was a great occasion for them. So there's no one more deserving than Gary. You know, he's had a few injuries in the last few years. That's probably took a few caps away from him. But you know, to be able to do it at the age that he's got so soon, as well as losing those games, says a lot about the type of player that he is. I mean, he's in top form right now, top form, and he's only going to get better.